So what I'm hearing is the starting point is individualism, but to create synergy, you actually need somebody who will organize that creativity into a collective whole. And Dr. Ganguly, as somebody who had that experience of taking crucial decisions, serving on the boards of so many companies, but who's also seen the inside of politics close up, parliament close up, where there is a body that's supposed to represent the greatest good of the greatest numbers. I don't know if that actually happens. My word to you is consensus, and whether you think that's important for creativity.
Well, unlike Rahul, I did not have any early warning because I was envying him with his notes and everything. But be that as it may, I think we have to, I'm going to give a health warning. I think the terms creativity, discovery, innovation are probably overused and are slightly overheated. And one has to be very careful and modest about it. Consensus arises out of common good. And common good is something that everybody understands. But creation of common good is uniquely gifted to a few. So if you can avoid hubris and generate common good, consensus is an outcome of common goods flow through society. And we in India are at a tipping point. I don't want to use that overheated term, but I'm forced to, because made in India, thought in India, created in India is still to arrive. It has arrived in its own sense, which is slightly infra-dig. To take its place in the world, at least rightfully should, I think we have to be a bit modest. We have to reach consensus, to use your term, but we have to do it in a less ostentatious way than we tend to do as Indians. Therefore, I say all strength to creativity, all strength to innovation, but please be cautious about using those terms.
So you're warning us against self-congratulation, and it's also interesting that I've heard so many people say that while Indians are very innovative, India is not yet innovative. This is interesting coming in a country where jugaad has become a byword for how we get things done. But jugaad is the appropriate preamble before I hand it over to Chetan, because in North India it's how farmers assembled a kind of car, wiring a pump set to four wheels to carry agricultural produce around. And it's a car that was made even before Chetan made his first car at 10. It's been that long back. But Chetan, the word innovation, what does it mean to you?
To me, it's something that it's an idea that you think about, you convert that into a solution, and that solution that exists hasn't been there before, and it's making a meaningful impact in people's lives. It could be anything. It could be a new way of how we serve water, to how we do a process. And it could be a new concept that could change humanity. I don't think there is, as long as it falls in the class of actually becoming a solution that I think changes people's lives and hasn't been done before, I feel that to me is innovation.
Now, obviously, self-confidence is something that ties the aspiration to create something new together. You have to be able to believe in yourself. So if I can ask you, Charles, has there ever been a time when you have deeply believed in the creative dream of a project you're working on, but everybody else has hated it or poo-pooed you or scoffed at you?
Yeah, the scoffing happens all the time. But I liked what Dr. Ganguly said. I agree with it completely, that I don't think you can be innovative if that's what you're trying to be.
You can't be self-conscious about it.
No, you can't even try. I mean, it's just like people have to write vision statements. Vision only comes from understanding. If you really understood a problem, you will probably be perceptive about it. Otherwise, it can just be a hallucination, and you can call it a vision. It all comes from hard work, in-depth understanding, and at the right moment, a lucky moment, a spark of innovation. And it's tremendously important. If we self-consciously try to be innovative, you won't get there. It really comes from, that's why I mentioned the synergy. The synergy is tremendously important. Silicon Valley was created by the synergy of those young engineers. It wasn't Bill Gates at all. He just presided over it. These young people meeting, discussing these things, inventing new things. And it's a tremendously exciting thing because actually, I think, without sounding racist, the Indian mind is very good at innovation, at inventing. There is something about it in mathematics. I mean, to see a new paradigm is the essence of mathematics.
Yes.
And it's not that easy. I think beyond the age of 25, you don't actually recognize a new paradigm.
This disqualifies all of us on the stage.
Absolutely. No. You can still be brilliant, Barka, but it's the same old paradigm which you use.
Yeah.
And so therefore, writers, architects, painters, but a mathematician, a physicist, and Dr. Ganguly would bear me out, has to be 25, 26 years old. But beyond that, your brain loses that flexibility. So it comes actually, we don't know how, this spark of this
It's intuitive,
synapse.
is what you're
Yes,
saying.
a synapse, but it comes from a very deep effort to understand the problem. I would emphasize that 1,000 times. That goes for Einstein. He didn't just get up in the morning and say there must be a connection. He had absolutely wallowed in the problem. And that's that's the tough part of it.
Dr. Ganguly, then how much of creativity and innovation is about somebody spotting the right idea? Because there's the person who has the germ of an idea, but he or she may be placed in a larger framework. Since we're at the Mahindra Research Valley, we all know the story of Anand Mahindra bringing the idea of the Scorpio to the board, and the board being very skeptical and effectively later telling him his job was on the line. But there was something in you that spotted that as a good idea. Now, is that instinctive? Is that considered?
I'll take a couple of seconds to just give a bit of a background of my personal beliefs.
Yeah.
And I'm very old-fashioned, so I give you a health warning on it. I believe that everybody, every human being, every Indian boys and girls, somewhere between the age of 12 and 16, there is a blossoming of the mind which is not conscious, which prepares him or her in a manner over which the teachers do have an influence, the parents have an influence, the surroundings do have an influence, but fundamentally the person has that eureka moment, and the person does not realize it. And therefore, if somebody like Anand Mahindra spots an opportunity which appears to be alien and outlandish to the rest of the world, and if he is able to persist with it and make it into a success, it is not to humble or humiliate those who did not agree with him, but to reinforce in them the belief that they are the leadership of the business, which thinks differently, but needs to be listened to much more carefully. And therefore, creativity is not, with all due respect, gifted to every humankind. We have to recognize, as Charles has mentioned, that some are blessed with either genes or something that I don't understand, which empowers them and enables them and prepares their mind to spot those things which others cannot spot readily.
But if I may take this to Rahul, in the case of the Scorpio, it was a success, so that story ended well. My question is, what if it had been a failure? And I'm just wondering, how much is the willingness and the capacity to absorb failure part of being creative? Because it's my understanding that if you play within the safe zone, you can never be creative, which means you've got to be ready to fail.
I think it's a brilliant question. Let me first say that I believe in this country we've forgotten how to be creative. We've forgotten how to be purely creative. You could fail as well as you could succeed. We are obsessed with applied creativity, and Jugaad is about necessity being the mother of invention. That is the Indian genius. But I can take a bet right now, if all of you were asked to draw anything mad from the top of your head, unfettered by anything, you would not be able to do it. Because from the age of 12 to 16, our system doesn't even understand that you're supposed to be insane, that it's okay to fail, to be disastrous. Muhammad bin Tughlaq, think whoever you might. But that, whether it's good creativity or bad creativity, is subjective.
Yeah.
But can you actually unleash the monsters within, the pleasant and the unpleasant? The fearlessness to go out there and just do what you want to think of a film where a hairdresser reads his customers' minds. And everybody says they're fine. But nobody is when he reads their minds. So he decides to help them. And they don't know that he knows, but they're helped. It's a karmic idea, but it's coming from my mad head.
When is that one moment that you thought you would fail and you were at a crossroad and you said, if I take this step, there's possible failure, but if I remain here, I'm a status quoist?
This is going to sound really horrible, but I've never thought I would fail. I could never think that. I only saw everything phenomenal, wonderful.
But what about Dr.
and dreamlike.
Ganguly's health warning? Guard against hubris. Be willing to fail.
Of course. Hubris, I mean, if you're creative, there's no chance of you having any hubris. If you're purely creative, you're obsessed with that, you don't really care about how famous you're going to get after this. You're just obsessed about the fact that, can I actually bust my brain today? And can I say, ooh, I'm out of my brain. I'm no more inside my brain. That is something I think Indians in general as a culture, we just are too scared to encourage. We haven't done it.
So Chetan, what I'm hearing here is that it requires, despite all the health warnings, a capacity to not care what people think. I like that kind of person, I've got to tell you. I personally, it's strange to say that being in a medium where I'm talking to people every day through a camera lens, but I think personally to be creative in the top of your field, you've got to answer to yourself and not to people. And I'm just wondering how that journey has been for you, because when you, in a sense, innovated with India's first electric car, there must have been people who said, hey, that's just a toy, nobody's ever going to really drive it.
Yes, I think that happened very often. When you went to raise money or you went to tell someone that you had this idea to do something. And it's something deep down that I believed in and dreamt about every day. For me, it was, growing up as a kid, going on cycles in streets and being clean. And I said, I'm going to come one day to a traffic light in Bangalore and everything is going to be quiet and clean. And I'm going to see this one day. And it drives me. It drives me every day. And if someone says something against it, what has been the biggest learning for me is he's actually saying something I haven't seen. If he says your project will not be successful, and then he goes on, I probably have learned something from him or why it will not be successful. And if I probably overcome that issue, maybe I have something that was a higher chance of success. So I think it's reading into anyone's even negativism and converting that into an opportunity and changing that around is what has helped me actually overcome some of these challenges.
Charles, can you share with us something around you that you see as a metaphor for creativity or innovation? It could be a building, it could be an individual, it could be something completely not related to architecture.
Yeah. Well, could I just take up on
Sure,
that point?
sure.
Yeah, I think it's very important that you have to believe in what you're doing. And that comes not because you're stubborn, possibly that too, but also because at least in the case of architecture or writing or something, it lasts much longer than the cheap applause or the cheap contempt you can get. So you can be praised a lot and history corrects that, like the other way around. And I think all of us must have that understanding of the time scale.
Yes.
So I agree with what Rahul said, but one thing disturbed me, Rahul, you said if someone asked you to say something creative, I mean, that would paralyze me, frankly. I mean, I don't know. I know you come from a different background of the theater.
He performs for the camera. He has to be able to say something.
That's right. I don't think I'm sure I could say things at random which would horrify you or entertain you. But to say the word creative is too serious a word to be banded like